YouTube. Look, a nigga finally reached 400, bro. Look. I know I ain't posting this on the day that I hit 400. Look, a nigga been busy just a little bit. Like today, my mom really wanted to go watch Little Mermaid, so I had to go do that. Hey, family come first. Hey, always put your family first. But look, man, I just want to thank y'all for all the love and support. Like for real, like real shit, bro. Like I come in here every day, grind, record, post, edit, and I don't even think about it for real. But like I be trying to stay. I steady try to give game because like that might be like a little nigga like me that, like when I was like 13, 14, trying to figure out like I was like, I don't know about y'all, but like I was like always in my head when I was like real young. Like I feel like growing up I was always ahead of my time. Like I was always one of those dudes who was thinking like more in depth and shit. Like I was never the one of the type of dudes who was worried about parties, none of that. Like I always been cool with chilling in the crib. So it just made sense for me to like hop on YouTube. Like I love chilling, I love talking, like and I feel like I made a lot of progress in a couple months, and I really want to thank y'all for it, cause like, you feel me? I want to thank myself too, cause I'm not even at my goal. I got so much more to do, so much more to accomplish, so much. We steady going up. Man, I got story time, bro. Like yesterday, like was it yesterday? One day, bro. Like yeah, it was yesterday, bro. I came across a hanging ass nigga, man. And look, I'm one of those dudes. Like I don't talk. Like I'm just like, if something supposed to happen, I'm just gonna get into it. You feel me? And like I think everything through before I even do it. So just know, bro. Like don't let your ego get in the way. Like you stop so many blessings by your ego just being in the way of just bullshit, bro. Like don't let your ego like block your blessings. Like you could be talking to a girl, right? And like you really like her, but you probably don't want to like be vulnerable with her, bro. Bro, let go. I'm telling you, that might be your wife. I'm not saying it, but it might be. Take the chance, bro. And if she a dub, she a dub. You gonna find another one. Right? Stop putting a wall up. I know you been hurt. We all have been hurt a couple times, my boy. But look, man. I just want to thank y'all for real. I know I'm talking your head off, but look. This really mean a lot to me because I'm almost at 500. 500 is really half to like 1,000. And once I reach 1,000, it gets up. You feel me? So thank y'all for real. Let's go ahead and get to the video. We come with 3 more horrifying, true highway, scary stories. Welcome new subscribers, new people. I love y'all. I know I said it a couple times, but for real, I do. Let's get to it. Blah. Story one.
This happened in June of 2020, back when the pandemic was in full swing.
How the fuck you was outside?
Like everyone else, I was spending a lot of time inside.
Yeah.
I wanted to get out and had the idea of going camping. 6 of us planned to go. We found a really nice looking spot on Google Maps that was alongside a lake. It was 5 hours away. We decided to take 2 cars since we couldn't comfortably fit all of us with all of our stuff in just one. In the first car was me, my sister's friend Hannah, and a guy Hannah brought named Jack, who I didn't really know if it was her boyfriend, just a friend. I didn't know and I didn't ask. The second car had my cousin and her husband Josh. We packed up the cars and started making the long journey through the mountains around 3 a.m. so we could get to the spot early that morning. The drive started out normal, but about 2 hours into it, Jack started complaining about how sick he was starting to feel. Which was fair, the roads were windy. I asked him if he wanted me to pull over, and he said not yet. Jack was sitting in the backseat with Hannah. I kept glancing up at him through the rearview mirror to see how he was doing. The last thing I wanted was a pool of vomit all over my backseat. As I looked, I started to notice him acting really suspicious all of a sudden. He had his hand in his backpack and a grin on his face. He started asking really weird questions.
The fuck?
He asked me if my car doors were locked. I replied saying they were, that they automatically lock when the car goes into drive, like pretty much every car does these days.
You a dumbass. Why'd you answer that question? I would've answered the question with a question. Why? Like, what? Why? The fuck? What? Nigga, what the fuck? Nigga, we driving. The fuck you talking about? The fuck? You finna jump out this motherfucker? Like, what?
My sister and I exchanged weird looks with each other. Eventually, he told me he was gonna throw up. I offered to pull to the side of the highway, but he insisted I take this dirt road that he somehow knew was coming up.
Fuck no.
I called my cousin in the other car behind us to tell her what we were doing.
No.
Jack proceeded to lead us down a dirt road that barely had enough room for our cars to fit through the trees.
Stupid.
Multiple times I asked him if this was good, but each time he told me to keep going.
Bruh, y'all,
I
what?
shot multiple concerned looks towards my sister.
He's leading you to...
Finally, Jack told us to stop. He got out of the car and ran into the woods, disappearing almost immediately. We couldn't see anything, only what was in front of us lit by our headlights.
I would've left his ass. That's just me though.
2 minutes went by. 3 minutes. 5 minutes. 10 minutes.
Leave him.
Nothing.
Bruh, God
Suddenly,
got him.
3 men came out from the trees on our left. They were...
Bitch. I'm sorry, bro. That sound, the speakers, then what? That shit scared the fuck out of me.
Wearing those masks from the Purge movies. It was dark, so I couldn't tell, but it looked like they were holding weapons. I laid on the horn and started driving forward where I would have enough room to turn around. My cousin in the car behind us did the same. As we were driving off, I caught another look at the men. They were just standing there, watching us.
Please play with me.
We made it about 100 feet when I noticed something on the road in front of us.
Please play.
It was a spike strip. I quickly got out of the car and threw it off the road into the forest.
Man?
I got back in, looked in my rearview mirror, and now saw the men full-on sprinting towards us.
I promise you, boy.
I put the pedal on the floor, and we made it back to the highway minutes later. I got a call from my cousin who sounded frantic, asking who those men were. I told her we had no idea, but that Jack never came back from out of the woods.
You know that's Jack, come on now.
Hannah later found out she got a text from him. It was 2 words, F you. We started questioning Hannah how she knew Jack, because like I said, I didn't know if it was her boyfriend, friend, or what.
Question your friends, bro.
She said she had met him on Tinder a couple weeks back. We went through his profile and saw immediate red flags. This guy was trying to lead us into the woods to possibly kill us.
Possible?
My sister cut ties with Hannah not long after this.
On me, you're done.
We don't know if she ever talked to Jack again, but for her sake, I hope she didn't. We ended up canceling that whole trip.
Look. I learned this the easy way. Look, don't always trust people, my nigga. Look, it take one time. Look, y'all be trying to, they gave me a reason not to trust. Look. Always be on your 10 toes. Cause look, it might just take one time, and that's your, that could have been a last lesson. Don't always trust, bro. Always ask, who is this? Where you know him from? How long you know? Hey, if they feel offended, fuck 'em. Nigga, they not my friend, nigga. You can go. You can go. Like, bro, cause you gotta be like that nowadays, bro. Like, hell nah. Man, Jack, you would have caught, boy, Jack, you and your friends would have been lined up playing with me. I promise you, no cap. Fuck. Story 2.
Let me start by saying I've always really enjoyed road trips. I'll sometimes take them just for fun, listening to music and getting lost. It's usually just over the weekend or so. I go with my dog Zeke and usually spend the night in a cheap motel if it ends up being a multiple day thing.
Zeke don't even sound like a big dog.
A few nights ago, I was taking another one. On my way back, I'd left later than I usually would. I started nodding off and realized I wouldn't make it to the next town, much less my house. The road I was on was surrounded by a dense forest, so when I found a clearing in the trees, I pulled off the highway onto the dirt.
Couldn't be me.
I was planning on sleeping in my car, but I honestly didn't know if it was legal or not, so I continued driving through the trees until I couldn't see the road anymore.
Nigga.
I let Zeke out to do his business and reclined my seat all the way back. When he got back inside, I closed and locked the doors.
Valid.
To describe where I'd parked, it was opposite a small cabin, but not directly in front of it. And again, there were plenty of trees, so I didn't feel like I was intruding on the owners in any way.
Okay.
Plus, at least from what I could see, it looked abandoned anyway, so I'm not sure anyone even owned it.
I mean, cabins.
After a few minutes, I started drifting off. I must have been sleeping for at least a few hours when I woke up to Zeke softly growling under his breath. I sat there listening, trying to understand what he was hearing. Just then, I began hearing footsteps coming from outside the car. This was followed by a long, high-pitched scratching sound. Zeke started going crazy, barking non-stop. I turned on my headlights and saw a very tall, middle-aged man dragging what I thought was a key around the perimeter of my car. He walked very slowly. I didn't know if he could see me, but it felt like he didn't take his eyes off of me the entire time. He had this malicious grin on his face. Horrified, I adjusted my seat back upright and started the car ready to gun it. But he had made his way to my front bumper. All other sides of my car were surrounded by trees.
What that mean?
The only way out of there was through him. I yelled out and laid on...
Exactly! Hit the gas! Nigga, y'all be so scared. Y'all be so scary. Look. How? Why is you... Look, you playing with your life. Look. Once you start playing with me, you're playing with your life. Hey, I'm willing to risk anything. Stop playing.
On the horn, Zeke still aggressively barking. That's when I saw that he was holding a butcher's knife. He started walking to my driver's side door, giving me an opening. I took it and started driving back towards the highway. I drove home without stopping. I got out to check the damage, and my paintwork was completely ruined.
Hey.
I don't know if that guy was trying to teach me a lesson for parking on his property, or if he even owned the property. I don't know. I don't plan on ever sleeping in my car again. At least not in a remote area.
Man, that would have been his last time, I promise you. Like, y'all be so scared for what? They playing with you.
When I was a senior in high school, me and a couple buddies used to drive out to a cemetery to do some late-night ghost hunting and mess around.
Okay.
We lived near a small town in Vermont, so there wasn't much else to do.
Valid.
We'd walk around and take photos and videos, but never captured anything unordinary. If you haven't been to Vermont before, most of the roads are very long and windy. We live deep in the middle of the woods, where there are no streetlights, and houses are like a mile or two apart from each other.
I know that feeling.
The road to the cemetery itself is probably about a 20 to 25 mile two-lane road, with just a few old-looking run-down houses. The atmosphere alone is already creepy enough, even without the cemetery. Anyway, my two friends and I were on this one trip up there around 2 in the morning. It took a good 30 minutes to get there. We were about halfway when this car comes up behind us out of nowhere and starts riding dangerously close to us, like to the extent that I couldn't even see its headlights.
Brake check.
We couldn't make out the car or anyone inside of it, but we slowed down, assuming it's a state trooper or something. They slowed down too, keeping almost the exact same distance.
The fuck?
I sped up again. Still, they kept the same distance. That's when they turned off their headlights. Now, remind you, there are no streetlights on this road. It's pitch black.
Nigga, that's perfect. Look. Once they turn this shit off, I'm pushing that motherfucker, boy. That hoe gonna turn to a Hellcat. I promise you. Cause look. Once I'm all the way up, bruh, they can't see nothing. Like, think about it, they can't see nothing. They gonna get lost. They gonna crash. Look, hit the gas.
I get up to about 20 or 25 over the speed limit, and finally we start to gain some distance. At this point, we think we lost him, when about a minute later, his headlights come back on, and he's right behind us again.
Bitch.
Then his headlights go out. About 20 seconds, they come back on, and he's directly behind us again. He does this about 3 or 4 times. I tried to ignore it, thinking it was just some idiot driver in a hurry.
Bro, that doesn't make sense.
Finally, as we near the exit for the cemetery, the car starts to let off. We turned into the cemetery, parked, and got out to start walking around. We were walking for maybe a minute when a set of headlights pulled up right behind our car and stopped. Now, mind you, it's 2 a.m. No one else should have been out here.
So why y'all out there then?
The three of us each ducked down behind a headstone and watched. 2 masked men got out of their vehicle, both with some type of blunt object in their hands. My heart sank. If we had to run, I don't know how we would have in the dark forest with the little light we had. I could feel my heart racing inside my chest as we all looked at each other with terrified expressions. The two men walked up to our parked car and started looking inside the windows with flashlights. They then began trying to break into the car by tampering with the driver's side door's lock.
What the hell?
They routinely looked up and checked their surroundings. After a few minutes, they seemed to have given up and started smashing at the door's window.
That boy's tripping.
It shattered after 2 or 3 good hits. One of the men got inside and started trying to hotwire the car. The car wasn't the newest by any means. It definitely was possible to hotwire the thing.
They just took y'all.
I sat there, praying they wouldn't be able to.
What type of?
It must have been 20 minutes when they gave up. They took everything out of the car, put it in their car, and
just think about it. If they did, like, say they did get it, what was y'all gonna do? Y'all just gonna let them take the car? Like,
drove off. Before getting out of our hiding spots, we called the police. When they arrived is when we finally revealed ourselves. We lost hundreds of dollars worth of camera gear that night. One of my buddies lost his whole camera, while the rest of us all lost things like tripods, camera lenses, and other gear. The cops took all of our statements and got photos of the car's broken window. One of the officers told us how common it actually is for people to get victimized and have their cars stolen by force on these empty highways during these hours.
I don't even like that word, victimized. Like, personally, most of these could have been like resolved with a weapon. Cause like look, most of these people they just not, they don't have anything. They just like, at least have a bat, have some pepper spray, have something. I'm not telling you gotta walk around with that on you, but at least have something to protect yourself. Cause especially now, like, nobody's safe. But look, man, if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next video. We out. Ugh.